I have already drafted the front and the back pattern, like I just did the normal basic bodice pattern without that. If you do not know how to draft the basic bodice, then you'll need to watch my video that shows a detailed tutorial on how to draft the basic bodice. We're going to start with the front. So the first thing I'm going to do now is on my waist point, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. This will be our new length for the Basque. So I'm just going to put a point there using my marker. Still on the waist, at the side front, I'm going to come down by 1.5 of an inch. This will serve as our new waist point. Okay, I do not want it to be exactly on my waist point. I want it to come down a bit, so you can actually decide to leave it on your waist point. It just depends on how you want the outcome to be like. After that is done, on that point where I came down by 4 inches, I'm going to go in by 2 inches, and so I'm just going to mark the point like so. Then I'm going to get my curved ruler. I'm going to be placing it upside down. And then the next thing I'm going to do now is using my marker, I'm going to connect from that 2 inches I marked. I'm going to connect it all the way to that 1.5 inches I marked down at the side front. And so turning my marker again to the right side, I'm going to use the curved area to just curve it, connecting it to the center front edge like so. Once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do now is to get my new neckline. And so from my chest line, I'm going to be moving up by 2 inches because I do not want the neck depth to be so low or deep. I decided to go up by 2 inches. You can actually leave it on your chest line or go up by 1 inch or less than 1 inch. Okay, after getting your neckline, just roll a line across, and so I named it my neckline. The next thing I'm going to do now is to get our dart. You can decide to have this as a corset with loop or eyelet, but I chose to have like a zipper at the back. Still at the front, on our new length, I went in from center front by 1.5 inches, and then on our neckline I came in with my apex or my nipple to nipple divided by 2. So my nipple to nipple is 8 inches, divided by 2 is 4, and so I just marked it there from the 1.5 inches on my new length up to the neckline. After that is done, the next thing I'm going to do now is to get my dart. From my under bust, I'm going to mark 1/2 of an inch on both sides of the line. Using my straight ruler, I'm going to connect these lines up to my neckline and then to my length. The next thing I'm going to do now is to get my second dart, and so from my first dart line, I'm going to move in by 2 inches. It can also be 1.5 inches, but I decided to move in by 2 inches. I'm also going to connect it up to my new neckline. Just watch where I'm putting my ruler. I'm going to rule it across all the way down to my 2 inches that I measured. After ruling the straight line, I'm going to take 1/2 inch from the under bust on both sides of the line. Using my straight ruler, I'm going to connect the darts like so from the under bust up to my new neckline at my armhole and then to the length. On the shoulder, remember the shoulder for this particular squared corset is not the exact shoulder. It's just like a strap, but it's together. What I'm just going to do now is to place my tape rule around my shoulder area and then get the midpoint. And from that midpoint, I'm just going to rule it straight to meet with my neckline. You don't have to rule it straight to the exact dart line, just rule it like about 1 inch away from the dart line. Now using your curved ruler, you can actually use your free hand, okay, to just make a curve to meet the dart line. Okay, so you can use your free hand or you can use a curved ruler. Initially I used a curved ruler, but I later had to use my free hand to create the curve. This is what it looks like. Next thing I want to do now is to add a dart intake. At the under bust, I took about 2 inches as total for the both darts, and then on the waist point, on the length, and on the chest line, I took about 1 inch. Using my straight ruler, I just connected all these points together. And that is all about the front pattern paper. The next thing we're just going to do now is to cut out. At this point, I decided to reduce the speed so that you can see how I cut out this area. Okay, first thing I did was I cut out the center front, the first piece. I just removed the darts like so. The reason why I reduced the speed is because I'd like to show you which of the pieces that carries the shoulder, and as you can see, it is a middle piece. That's the second piece. All right, with that being said, you're just going to cut out the other dart. Right, this is just what it looks like. This is everything about the front pattern drafting. Okay, this takes us to the back pattern drafting. If you watched this video to this time, thank you very much. I really do appreciate. God bless you. And if you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe now, turn on notification bell so you'd always get notified whenever I post a new video. It is important for me to also let you know that your engagement in my post is really important, and so I'd really appreciate it if you leave a comment. It could be a comment to show that you enjoyed the video. It could also be a suggestion or a request to make a particular tutorial. I'm looking to build a community with fashion designers where we can suggest, share ideas and make requests on a particular video to post or a particular tutorial to make. Do well to leave a comment. It gives me that hope and joy to continue to create content. Moving on to the back pattern. At the back, I'm going to just measure 1.5 inches from the waist point down, and I'm going to just roll a line across. This will serve as our new length. On my chest line, I went up by 1 inch. I do not want to go by 2 inches because it's the back. You can actually make the back lower. You can use your chest line or you can even use below your chest line. But I decided to go up by 1 inch. And so I'm just going to roll a line across and then name it my neckline. After that is done, the next thing we're going to do now is to get our dart at the back. The dart at the back would just be 1, okay? And so I just marked my nipple to nipple measurement divided by 2. My nipple to nipple measurement is 8 inches divided by 2 is 4. I'm just going to mark that all the way up to my neckline. At the under bust, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of the line. On our new length, I'm also going to mark 1/2 inch as well on both sides of the line. Using my straight ruler, I'm going to connect all these points together, forming my darts. So this dart is going to look like a pencil, unlike the first one that had 2 pencils on the top and the length of the pattern, okay? This is just going to be a pencil only at the top and it's going to be extended all the way to the new neckline. After that is done, the next thing we're going to do now is just the way we did at the front on our shoulder. We're going to get our shoulder measurement and divide it into 2, mark it there, and using our straight ruler, we're just going to mark it straight down to the neckline, leaving 1 inch from the dart line like so. The next thing I did now was just to get my curve to join that dart line. You can use your curved ruler or a freehand, anyone you're more comfortable to use. We want to get our zipper dart, and so from my zipper line, the 1 inch at my back, I'm going to go in by 1/2 inch, and so from that 1/2 inch, I'm going to slant using my ruler. I'm going to slant it up to the neckline, and as well from that point again slant it down to the new length. Once that is done, I replaced my dart at my side back, and so on my under bust I just added about 1 inch, and then on the length as well 1 inch, and then on my chest line I added about 1/2 inch. And so I'm just going to connect all these points together using my straight ruler. This is everything about this squared corset with basking at the front. If you want to make this style, you can use a crepe material, a Duchess material. You can also use a satin material. You can as well use a mikado, a brocade, a doll face. You can surely use an Ankara for this as well, like the African print. If you watch this video to this time, thank you very much. I really do appreciate. Do not forget to subscribe. This is Sew with Oma. You would always get sewing tutorials, pattern drafting, fashion information, like everything related to fashion here on this channel. Do also subscribe, like and share this video, and most importantly, do not forget to leave a comment in the comment section. Like I said earlier, it just gives me this joy and hope to keep creating. If you also have suggestions as to what content you'd like me to post, let me know in the comment section. I am at your service and always ready to give you joy. If you'd also like to see the sewing tutorial, do not hesitate to let me know in the comment section. Thank you once more for watching. Till we see in our next video. Mwah.